want to tell you a story. It effectively began in 2010. We made several calls to an FBI hotline. They could be traced, to give information which we consider was vital to the national security of the United States. My wife made the calls as well. She was a federal government worker, security cleared. She told them this, and they put the phone down on several occasions. In the same year, I put together 2 files. I spent a long time putting them together. It wasn't straightforward for me. I did them in a light code. I think it was a pretty clever one. The reason for that was I saw the National Security Agency stated that they think abstractly and they solve the impossible. It's on their site. So I thought by making it clever they would read them. So in the June of 2010, I sent them. In November of 2010, I sent them to the CIA, certified mail. They were signed for. No response. They carried the location of Osama bin Laden. Plus, I put in detail the possibilities of a raid, how it could be done, the pitfalls, etc. I pushed it hard to get them to reply so they fully understood it. No reply. Some of the things I did I regret. Didn't hurt anyone or anything. We were told in the US that it was vital we got him. 9/11 was disastrous for that country. 3,000 people nearly. Pentagon in Philadelphia. As a new citizen to the country, I wanted to stand up for what I swore I would defend. Anyway, I was interviewed before the raid by an agent. I told him why I'd done what I'd done. I gave him a document. You can see I have a photocopy of a sealed envelope which I've retained as proof for a future date. At that time he didn't know about that. In that document it carries the location, the funeral at sea, the precise time, 7 a.m, plus other details, SEAL Team 6, etc. Yeah, it was very carefully planned by me. So I left the meeting being told I would never hear from them again. I accepted it. I thought, can't do no more than that. Then we have the raid on Abbottabad in Islamabad. Osama gets killed. On May the 4th, I get yanked in to the police station by a Secret Service agent, the same one as before. We have a discussion, not a very easy one. I say to him that I was the one who found Osama bin Laden. He wouldn't say yes, but he went like this. In front of me, behind his head, there was black glass, the kind that you film on the other side of. I personally think it was being filmed. I can't prove it. But the way he nodded his head, but wouldn't say it verbally. He gave me a document which he wanted signed. It was pre-prepared, in his handwriting. Again, I can't prove it was pre-prepared, but I swear an oath it was. That part of the document would shock Americans. No, it's got nothing to do with Osama bin Laden. By chance I came across something. A lot of other people had as well, it wasn't just me. Do you remember the Arizona shooting? 19 shot. In a chat site I saw it being talked about, the potential of it. I couldn't swear that it was going to happen. I wasn't sure. But I thought if it's been discussed there, you report it. So we tried. We did try. The agent had put in writing that I did try. Now what I say to that is this. My wife knows as a government officer, you never put anything in writing if it's a lie, because it will come back to bite you in the ass. He'd put it in writing in advance, so he knew it was the truth. He knew I'd told the truth. Now, do I blame the people for not reacting to what they were being told? No. They get so many cranks phoning in. You can't blame them. But equally, you don't let them off for it. We have a right to expect they defend us. It's important. Anyway. I'm concerned about the Islamabad bit because I spent a lot of time on it. An awful lot. I did every single detail, from the height of the walls to that helicopter crashing. It was landing in an area like this, almost a triangle. It was the only area they could land in within the compound. When they came over that wall, they got a displacement of air. It was put down as being a ring vortex. That was in the file. I put it in. It was calculable. They would have known as well. But it really wasn't just that brought them down. It was a displacement of air. As they went over the wall, it created an imbalance in the helicopter, which is the reason why it ended up almost vertical against the wall. So if anybody tells you that raid wasn't genuine, it was all acted out, that isn't true. I'd like to be able to say it was. It'd make my case better, because I have proof. The truth is, they did their job. It was the government I had an argument over. And no, I'm not scared of the SEAL team, not in any shape or form. Anyway, on May 4th when he interviewed me, he also said to me, I would like to see you leave the country. And I thought, what damn hell right do you have to ask me to do that? I'm not angry anymore. But I was thinking to myself inside, the State Department told me when I became a citizen that I had every right to stay in the country, and the only people who could ask me to leave were the State Department. Anybody else who said it, I was told to ignore it. I remember. I swore an oath on that day to defend that flag. I was leaving the room at the end of that meeting, thinking to myself, I don't know what to do. I'm married to an American who's 28 years government. Is that a separation of the marriage? I went down to pick her up after that meeting at work. I told her what had happened. We let a little bit of time go by and we told some friends. What they said to us was, don't let it go, stand up. Standing up against the security forces is a big step. It doesn't take a lot of working out what the possibilities are. So I stood up. I made a poster, put it on the back of the car, drove around Washington for quite some time. A couple of weeks. Hoping to get it in the newspapers or people back me. On one of the days, a van came tearing up behind me, and I mean at real speed. Above the speed limit, yes, I was speeding. Every American does. Not massively so, but probably about 70, 65 miles an hour on Route 66 as you're coming out of Washington. Anyway, the van pulled up behind me, and it pulled up to within about 8 to 10 inches, maybe a foot away, taking photographs of the interior from the back. Then it made a sweep like that, as quick as that, to the side of the car. Again, it filmed the inside. Then it went tearing into the front again. within a foot. The manoeuvres that they made were really clever. I saw the plate on the back. It said Secret Service. They never arrested me for going fast. They never arrested me for what was on the back of the car, and in fact, nothing happened at all about it. So if I'd have been breaking the law in any shape or form or lying, they would have arrested me fast. They would never have let that go in the Washington DC area. Weeks went by again. And I thought to myself, well, I'm Jimmy McHugh. I'm a pacifist for the most part. But do I stand up for my country? Or do I walk away? So I made a decision to try and get it in the papers. Someone from Homeland Security said to me off the record that I'd never get in the newspaper, it would never go in the newspapers because effectively they're blocked. How true it is, I don't honestly know. I can guess, but that wouldn't be accurate. I don't like guessing. So what I did was I handed out leaflets in Washington. Oh yeah. But I also handed them out in Maryland. I had one complaint. A police officer phoned me. And when I told him the situation, he had no problem over it after that. In New Jersey, I had one complaint. In Point Pleasant, the only one. No one complained, and I handed out 1,000. In Maryland, not one complaint, even though it was around the Aberdeen Proving Ground. Not one complaint. So what I was saying must have stacked up. So I put in this letter that if it had been my child that got shot in Arizona, I'd have blown the bastard head off of the president. Would I have really done that? No. No. Really no. I guess what I was saying was that there's a duty from the government we live in to look after us properly. And if they're failing to do so, then we have a right to have it addressed by either a congressman or senator. I tried that. I wrote to Chris Smith in New Jersey, gave him the facts. He wouldn't reply. But he sent somebody around from the serious threats unit of the FBI, Capitol Hill. And when they heard the story, they never came back again. No, they would have arrested me. They wouldn't have let that go. It's beginning to stack up a little bit, isn't it? It's the truth. Chris Smith wanted me to retract my statements I put in the paperwork because I cited him as knowing, and I wouldn't do that. So what happened then was